Okay, what's something else you've been seeing?
I think loneliness is still there.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Last year I think I was called the lonely child. I spoke more on loneliness and someone just revealed to me something recently because I think loneliness is, you're saying you don't have hope, that you are, and I want to say, you're not lonely because if you're a Christian, you have hope.
Mhm.
But what you're really saying is, I'm alone and I don't really like it. Well, recently I stayed with a lady down the beach and she said, Kris, can I expand upon this concept of loneliness? And I said, sure. And she goes, I moved away from the family that I've lived with my whole life, I grew up with. I moved to a new city where I know nobody. I went to a church where I know nobody. I switched jobs, which I know nobody. And I moved into a new neighborhood that I know nobody. She goes, I have 4 levels of loneliness that have nothing to do with a man. She says, so loneliness is way bigger than just the concept that I'm alone. It's the fact that I have no attachments, no connections anywhere. Take 4 things and disconnect them from you, and you'll know what true loneliness is. And so I said, thank you, because you're right. I address it from a romantic side, not from the reality as being alone is alone in all these other areas as well. And so single adults who move, single adults who are looking for churches, especially to plug in where there are singles ministries, they might leave their home church or they've been there for 20 years or 30 years. Definitely change jobs, And I'm sure you're seeing some of the same things that are coming through on Boundless as well.
Surfacey friendships or broken friendships, you feel
another aspect of it.
Yeah, someone has gotten married and moved on, and you've gotten left behind. So
yeah. So going back, we talked about topics that singles, still relationships, dating, marriage. Who am I going to marry? Why haven't I married? I'm in church. I'm doing everything you're supposed to do. Why hasn't God brought me someone? I wish I had the answer to all those, but that's why Pray for a Mate has been really working. Loneliness, aspects of anything that's broken in that area of our lives that creates a sense of aloneness. And then probably the third one was your identity. If you don't know who you are in the Lord, if you don't know that the Lord created you for Him and to be used by Him, and that it's a relationship with Him that glorifies Him, and out of that one, a relationship with others to bring them to Him, and that everything in life has to do with that purpose, and that when you don't get that, you will forever be chasing things to give you your identity. So much of our identity is in what we do for a living, our children, or never being married, or our parents, or who someone says we are. But what happens if you don't have children? Or what happens if you lose your job? Or what happens if you don't live where you live? Or heaven forbid, what happens if you physically don't look the way you look? Because as you age up, but if that's your identity, then what happens? I see identity as a huge issue, and if you don't know who you are, then how do you begin to make a path to go the way God wants you to go and understand why He's on that path? So if you don't know who you are, then you're just kind of going through life thinking, well, I guess I'm supposed to get married, I'm supposed to have a job, and I guess, but that's maybe not the path that God has for you. Because some of us, we may never get married, and I know some of you are like, oh, thank you, gosh. She's so encouraging, Lisa.
Yeah.
Bring her back on the show.
Woo! Yeah,
I mean,
no, but it's real, for real. So, great point. Find Kris on the singlesnetwork.org. Again, she has books. She travels around. She speaks. She does a bunch of events going on, and pray for her as she heads off to England, because she's got a great ministry going there. Lots of single adults there within churches and around the country who are really trying to find that connection.
So thank you for your prayers, and thank you for the support, and it's great to be in
Absolutely.
here in beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yay, thanks, Kris.